Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kindar, the Tiger Lights, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are when I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to them live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. And if you're looking to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today we are doing chapter 28 of Feeling the Way. The helicopter created a dust storm that blocked all reminders of where I was and what happened. For a few seconds, I indulged in the fantasy it never happened. Other than the mental scars, once more, there was not. There were no no evidence on my body I'd been through the ringer only a few hours ago. When I exited the cavern, after throwing used to be Fiona against the dildo and watching her dissolve into nothingness too, I returned to my bike to grab my stuff and trek back to civilization, only to find that it and my phone worked again. So I called civilization to me. People exited the helicopter before the blades stopped spinning. "Secure the area," a powerful voice yelled over the sound. "Confirm there isn't anything more. Do not, I repeat, do not touch a fucking thing. If you do, after me and Wyatt have kicked your ass back into that prison, you can be damn sure I will find a way to get you out and fuck it. And fuck it for disobeying me. Am I clear?" The yeses that followed were as steady as my father's voice. They didn't react to the threat. They knew it was real, but they were professionals. The dust finally fell as men in camo armor ran past me for the mouth of the cavern. Then it was only me and my father in his own set of camo. I smiled. He looked good. Arnold Orr looked good in anything or out of it. He stopped before me, studied me, nodded. "Good job, son," and walked by to join the man inside the cavern. I'll take him. I'll take being around him without us having a reason to argue any day of the year. I followed him in to make sure none of the men screwed up, or if they did, remind them what happened when there was a Nor there to see you do it. Dad didn't stay longer than it took for the team to secure the giant dildo for transport. That was to say, we were in each other's company for 8 hours too long. He demanded I leave once I'd explained. He demanded I leave once I'd explained everything that happened. I refused. I came across this. I had the right to make sure it was taken away. I didn't have the training to deal with these kinds of things, he replied. I laughed in his face. Not my smartest move, but who did have the training to box a magical prison? Unless my dad had managed to hide a big part of his life from the rest of us, not him. After that, we did our best to stay out of each other's fur. We got a breather when I talked with the helicopter pilot, who had nothing to do until the prison was ready, and convinced him to take me up so I could survey the area in hope the church I was looking for would be easier to find from the air. It wasn't, but we did find the remnant of a town, 100 miles west of where Beth had me start from. If that was where I needed to be, I'd have to discuss our accuracy. We flew back to the site. I paid the pilot, and we were both quite pleased with that time. Then I went to see if I could help again. "Are you sure you don't want to fly back with us?" Dad asked. "I can strap your bike to the case, and the helicopter is spacious enough. There's going to be people between the two of us." The case was the wooden box that was constructed around the prison, reinforced with metal and magic. Turned out my dad brought an expert. Turned out they were expert at retrieving things like this. But instead of shoving my mocking down my throat with it, he let me laugh at him. I'd hug him if for it, but he'd punch me. Dad's punches hurt. "One," I replied, Adam is going to kill you if you dangle my bike under a helicopter. He's going to try. my dad replied. I haven't fucked him in a while, so it would be worth the inconvenience of him trying. I'd like to keep all my fathers as far from each other as being family allows, so I'm going to pass. I also need to check out something related to what caused me to run across this place, which is, I shook my head. I don't even know that it's related. I was not telling my dad his uncle, the now God who tried to steal power from our God and threatened to make me and my brothers his slave in the process, might be back among us. My dad, more than anyone in my family, tended to be apocalyptically irrational when it came to Damien. You know how I feel about you keeping things from me. I'm not a kid anymore, Dad, and you want me to keep stuff from you. You go all icky when I start talking about my emotions. I do not go icky, he snarled, taking a step forward. And that stuff is gross. Being horny and pissed off are the only two emotion a Nor needs. I narrowed my eyes. Are you trying to be funny? He crossed his arm. There's no trying about it. I laughed. Lest come, you tried for a dad joke, I snorted. Missed by a few 100 miles, but you actually tried. You tell anyone about this and I will fuck you. I promise I will keep this moment to myself and cherish it always. You're an asshole. You know that? I grinned. I am your son. The quirk of his lips was barely noticeable. That you are. You be careful with whatever this is. Word is that you were in Denver, so if this is related to that, it isn't going to be good. Dad, I closed my mouth as the whine in my voice registered. I'm a fucking Orr. I don't whine. My dad's smirk wasn't helping. You know how I feel about that kid. I'm not going to marry him. Fuck Dad, me and Eddie are friends. You're friend with his dad, why is this such a problem for you? Because that family is a bad influence on us. Yes, I'm friend with him, and look what happened. We are finally accepted within the society. People actually come to us when they're in trouble instead of going to idiots who have no idea what they're doing. I'm in fucking charge of this family. My dad glared. My dad glared with the best of them, better even, but I grew up with them. They'd lost. It lost. It lost its effect over the years. It's his fault. Him and his ideas. I should make friends and try to understand my brothers. We're supposed to rotate leadership, but no. First Aaron decided he doesn't actually want to run this family after what happened in Nevada. Then Aiden is too busy managing the band, and who the fuck wants Anakin to run anything after he used his year to throw an anime party throughout the city? I swear that brother of mine is a child. Dad's ranting didn't even slow as he went through the others. Of course, he never mentioned that he'd always been the one to swoop in and fix the mistakes, that his time in charge were the most peaceful the city saw. He blamed Elder Brislow, but the truth was that my dad needed to take care of us. He needed to make sure we were doing okay. He just couldn't be seen to like doing that. So he bitched about how he never wanted this or that, or how his arm was twisted, like anyone will ever buy that excuse, or he was conned into running the family full time. I think that if my dad admitted he liked the job, he'd explode. I won't let Eddie make me the next guy to run the family, I reassured him. No, he's going to turn you into some sort of do-gooder, my dad grumbled. No more than I have to be to keep our ties to the other factions intact. He let out a breath. You better. I don't want to hear about you helping people out with a proper payment. You won't, don't worry. I smiled at the glare he gave me. He was trying to work out if I meant I won't do it, or I'll make sure the news never reached him. He knew me well enough to know I was good for either. He shook his head. The band's in the city in 3 months. Be there for the concert. This time the glare shut me up. Be there. We're family. We're going to act like one at least once this decade. He turned and headed to the helicopter. He was insane. That was the only reason for him to say that. He wanted everyone in San Francisco at the same time? My dad had to be fucking out of his mind. There wasn't going to be a city left after that concert if everyone was there. And that concludes chapter 28 of Feeling the Way. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter is going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read the story, it is exclusively on my Patreon. And if you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. The links are in the notes, and with that, I shall wish you a good day.